Kia ora whānau, how's it going? Welcome back to Kaitiaki Mara Kai backyard garden, and as you can see here, this is the soil that I toiled up in preparation for planting this year. And what I'm about to do now is I'll just show you this shot here. Part of the things that I've learned over the last couple of years doing gardens, and particularly since I've moved up here to Kaikoura and Kirikiri, is your soil preparation is the important thing. So yeah, planning is an important part. Now on our papakainga, I've got a different garden. This is a digging garden, so I've actually tossed the soil. As I've mentioned before, the soil here in Kaikoura is beautiful, whereas the down on Mātua block there's a lot of clay, so I'm not digging. What I'm doing is a digless garden where I'm actually building on top of the soil and putting on the nutrients. Anyway, so part of what I'm doing for my garden here is putting in and preparing my soil, and so I'm going to show you what I'm going to do here. And you would have seen I've done a little trench, sometimes if you want to put good nutrients back in there, you can put in compost, food waste, so your vegetable cut-offs and so forth. You can dig a trench and bury it in there, and then put some materials on top. So what I'm going to do in this case, I'm actually going to do that because I'm thinking what I'm going to do here along from where this peat bag is here to the end of that, I'm actually going to put tomatoes along here, only because I've got a trellis here that I can actually tie them to. So what I'm going to do here is in preparing the soil for tomatoes, even though the soil, when you look at it, it's really nice soil here. What I'm going to do is actually put some nutrients in, and the first one I'm going to do, we've just went fishing, and so I'm going to put the scraps of the fish into that trough. Yep. And what I will also do, adding into the soil, is the blood and bone, just to put some before. It's a new garden and I'm not sure what's been done in here in the past, so I'm putting some blood and bone. I'll sprinkle that over the top of here and also over there. Then I'll use my fork just to dig it in, and just to add a bit more nutrients back in there. I'll be pretty liberal on that, and then I will lay either straw, like I've got this is just down from a Bunnings or Mega Mighty 10 straw like this, on top, or this bag here. I'm going to lay over the top of it, and what that does is it keeps the soil moist. It also inhibits the weeds coming through, and if you for example, if you do that for likes of garlic, going over winter, if it's a colder areas, it just keeps the soil warm as well. Anyway, that's the research that I've done around that. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm pretty much going to chip the fish waste. Now some of our farmers will go, "Oh, you're wasting all that food." I said, well, not really. I'm putting it back into the whenua and letting it break down, and there's lots of worms in here. So I'm going to do that. So I'll bury the fish over there, spread it out, and then I'll come back. Okay, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do after that with the blood and bone. Alright, kia ora whānau. So I've finished now putting the fish inside, and you'll see now that I've sprinkled on top a liberal serving of blood and bone. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, in this little trough that I've created here, which will be my walkway, this walkway here, I'm going to now just mix in the soil. As you can see, I'm just going to mix it all together. Yeah, I'll do that now. Come back, And yeah, anyway, mum and oil, blood and bone, nutrients. Right, here we go. And now I've put the pea straw or the mulch on top. Now you could use grass clippings. So for example, if I had dried this, my little compost pile here, as I mentioned before, I'm going to transfer this pile over to there eventually, but the grass clippings can be used as mulch. So what I've done to prepare this plot, I'm just going to get some tomatoes now and I'll plant them along there. Is I dug up the soil, make it all nice and soft. I've put nutrients back into it, so in this case I've put fish bones and so forth, buried that in there, covered it back over. Then I put blood and bone mix and mixed that into the soil, and now I've put this pea straw or mulch on top. And all the mulch will do is just keep it the soil moist so it won't evaporate, and it'll also slow down the weeds and so forth. Don't have to weed so much. So when it comes to the tomatoes, all I'm going to do is when I come to plant them is I'll just make a little hole like so, plant the tomatoes in there, and then just keep the mulch around it so the weeds don't come through. Then later on, what grows nice with tomatoes is along this edge here is I might start planting basil, and then because they complement tomatoes. Yeah, so that's pretty much ready now for tomato seedlings to plant up there, and then I'll tie them along to the trestle as they grow, and we'll see how that goes. I put a little bit of mulch down the walkway here, just so it keeps the weeds at bay. Yeah, anyway, that's it. That's my process for preparing the soil. Now I just got to get the seedlings and plant them. Still haven't decided when I'll put my kumara along there and potatoes around there maybe. Yeah, so still trying to think through what I'm going to do. But this part here is the first part. Yep, I'm going to put tomatoes in there. Okay, like this if you've, click like if you like it, if it's helpful. If you've got any other jungle tips that might be helpful, please share and post a comment. Really appreciate it. Heck on that. Or also, have a look on Facebook for Hei Oranga project. We're doing some work there in regards to supporting other whānau and kaikui community. We're putting down gardens. If you would like some help around putting down a garden like I'm doing, give us a bell. Check us up on Facebook or on YouTube. Yeah, okay. Ka kite whānau.